What's up, guys? What's up, Pats Nation? What's going on? We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Particularly, we're gonna focus in on Tom Brady and his actions as of late. I brought a good friend of mine along for the discussion, JD from JD TV. What up, JD?
Dude, not much. Interesting stuff has been going on, and yeah, it's definitely worth talking about.
Now, I brought you along because me and you talked about this during the whole Brady watch that we me and you talked about this on and off during the whole Brady watch kind of saga that we did together.
It was a hell of a
Um,
saga.
going back and forth with whose fault this really was. What up, Goose? What up, Fire Destroyer? What
What up,
up, Mo
everybody?
Gaming?
What's up,
Karam in
crew?
the house. So I want to know from Pat's Nation, all any Patriot fans that are in here right now. I want to if have you guys if you have you been have you been following Brady's actions outside of the since he left the Patriots, or could you guys kind of care less? Because they're still reporting on it up here in Massachusetts. There's the radio guys are still talking about it just because um it's it's drastically different from how he was acting his last two seasons here. So, um, drastically different. JD, do you have any opening thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I mean it's really interesting. We've definitely seen the real Tom Brady in the last few months. Like I don't know if any of you have listened to his Howard Stern interview, which was like almost 2 hours of Brady just being himself. He was cussing, he was talking crap, he was telling stories. So after this, if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend checking it out because he reveals quite a bit about his life, and it's pretty fascinating because when he was with Bill, it was all, very quiet. What's up, QC? What up, Fire Destroyer? Q?
QC sports expert Karam. What up, guys? It's yeah. You see a different. There's a different attitude. He's back, and you know what? I don't want to say it. You know what? I'll say it. It bothers me. It bothers me that he's back, dude. He's back to his maniacal, nothing comes before winning attitude that he had 3 years ago. The last 2 years, JD, how many times we've gone over. He missed. He never went to voluntary OTAs. He never did all the extra stuff. He never did any of that.
Since there was one game that changed Tom Brady, we were talking about it before the show, and it's actually something that um, a lot of reports have come out. I don't think Brady said it himself, but a lot of people have reported inside the building of the Boston of the New England Patriots that
Yeah,
once
inside sources for the team.
exactly inside sources and stuff like that. I think Tom Curran talked about it too. That the Philadelphia game where Brady put up 500 yards and Bill Belichick sat Malcolm Butler. Since then, he was he was not into the Bill Belichick's opinion anymore. He didn't care anymore.
I think that was one of the major tipping points.
That was what
Was
prevented him from going to OTAs and stuff, like you said.
Yeah, the year after that, the next year, he said, "I'm not. It's not anything not mandatory." That's the year he was in Spain. Remember, he went to Spain and spent time with Giselle on the freaking yacht or whatever it was in the off season.
I believe that was
Um,
after they made, or that was right when they made Tom versus Time. I believe actually,
yeah,
and he said he was unhappy and he wanted to be appreciated more.
it was definitely one of the major like dominoes to fall in that whole Brady being like, you know what, like if if this is how it's going to be, then if this is how Bill's going to treat me, then this is how I'm going to act. I'm not going to show up to anything that's not mandatory. It like it it pisses me off though, because like I sit back and I've seen like you see the reports that Brady, and you see like I've read like I want to say 8 different articles a couple from like the Tampa Bay local Tampa Bay, beat writers, and a couple from up here. Dude, he's back to his usual self. He's back to just that maniacal winning, like, dude, he wants to
He's
eat.
breaking the rules again.
He wants to eat this year. He does, like, he's back to that attitude, man, and it bugs me because it's like, where was that the last 2 years? Where was that the last 2 years?
Well, as you know, your team Bill and the Patriots, I'm team Tom. And so, like, speaking for Tom, I will say that Tom gave everything. He gave more than everything to the Patriots, and he didn't always get everything back. So for him, it's kind of defensible to me. Like, you can look at it like, I gave my heart and soul to you. I expect something back. And, like, for instance, I'm gonna be honest. Like, they did disrespect him a little bit. Belichick. Why doesn't Tom Brady have a statue now? I'm just saying. Like, Nick Foles has a freaking statue in Philly, but Tom Brady doesn't have a statue in Boston. Are you kidding me?
I know.
So that's
I know.
what. And I know it's a little thing, but, like, it kind of shows you the disrespect, the embedded disrespect that Bill had for Tom. Bill thinks he can make anyone Tom Brady, and we talked about that in Brady Watch. We talked about that a lot.
The ego.
Yep. And it's just not true. It's just not true. He's going to fail this year, and I'm sorry to say it, Boston fans. I'm going to say it right now. The Patriots are not going to the playoffs. They're not. They're just not going to the playoffs.
It's going to be tough. Like, let's say they finish in between if they finish 7-9, I don't think they're getting in.
No.
If they finish 9-7, they might have an outside shot at it because of the extra playoff spot. But this is like, just to circle, like, back around, like, dude, it upsets me though, because it's like all this BS, JD, that we were having to that we went through, like, that we were covering during the whole Brady watch, like the back and forth, the infighting between the two, and the Brady saying, "Oh, I want," Brady saying, "Oh, I want to be here," and the organization's not show, like, all that was bullshit. It was all just smoke and mirrors, and he
could have got 30
and
mil.
for everybody, for the people out there that didn't believe that there was a clear, like, divide and a clear, like, wedge driven between Bill, Josh McDaniels, and Tom, the attitude changed back to the way it was 3 years ago, and now that the way he's acting, and dude, that should show you exactly. That proves that all that reporting that there was a wedge driven between them three, it's all true. It's all true.
And it's, in my opinion, it's Belichick's fault, because Belichick, he treats all of his players like trash. He really does, and it works most of the time. But this is a guy who you can't treat like trash. You know what I mean? You did enough. You did for 20 years, and he gave you 6 championships. After that, you can't treat him like trash, but he does anyway. And I mean, yes, Brady could have came back for $30 million. But he's looking at it like, and he made less in Tampa than he would have made on the open, like, going to somewhere else. So, like, it wasn't about the money. It really wasn't. And I told you this. I said, if Belichick just picked up the phone and said, "Listen, dude, I know we have our problems. I know me and you go back and forth and we yell at each other a lot, but I need you." Those words alone, he would be back. But he didn't do that, and Belichick didn't do that. And this is where we're at now. That's why the Patriots don't have their captain, their only captain, their only superstar ever in the history of their franchise, to be honest.
Yeah. It out of all the players in the past, that all the greats that have played under Belichick, Richard Seymour, Rodney Harrison, Vince Wilfork, like, out of all those guys who ended up having, like, phenomenal, Teddy Bruschi, like, phenomenal careers, like Tom's the one where you can justify being like the guy has captained in general, and been the general of this team
Did all he could.
for 20 seasons, and taken, how many pay cuts has he taken to keep the core of the team together, because he knew with a good core group of guys. McGinnis too, Willie McGinnis, absolutely. Moto Gaming, yes, him too, man. He took multiple pay cuts to keep the core together, and to be able to do a solid for the organization, so they could go out and keep guys around Tom that he could trust, that he could. And it just goes to show that like sooner or later the NFL, I mean, it's JD, the NFL has always been a business. It's always at its core, deep down, it might be kind of like the ugly core of the matter, but the NFL has always been a business, man. And it was.
And to touch on that, Belichick hasn't done his job as a GM. He has failed. He has utterly failed. And anyone saying otherwise is not just looking at the paper. Like, yes, on defense, he's drafted some amazing guys. He's gotten some amazing free agents. He even gets a bunch of undrafted guys that are great. But on offense, what has he done? What has he given Tom? What did he give Tom? A good O-line? Okay, what else? What other things? He sat. Conspiracy theory time. Everybody put on your tinfoil hats really quick. He sabotaged Tom. He didn't get an elite tight end, or even a good tight end.
Yeah.
And Tom uses tight ends more than anything. So he purposely wanted Tom to have the worst season that he's had in a while, so he could say, "See, he's washed up." And that's why, man. He only threw for just above 4,000 yards.
That goes right into the, that adds right into the thing where we were talking about, during the whole Brady watch, that there is a divide, and anybody who says there isn't, you're not looking, and you're not like reading between the lines, and you're not reading what. Dude, how many times did they undercut and snipe at each other with you have to read between the lines during some of these contract negotiations, because it's all in like the subtleties and how they say stuff.
Yeah, because Bill looked at it. I mean, Bill publicly was like, "Well, we're going to give him, we're going to do whatever we can to keep him." And $30 million is fine. Like, that is what Tom is worth, because that's what basically was on the table, was $30 million to come back for 1 year. But it goes deeper than that. It goes a lot deeper than just money, because this guy, like you said earlier, he's taken pay cut after pay cut after pay cut after pay cut. And what has he gotten in return? Yeah, he's won, obviously, but who does that benefit more? The coach and the GM and the owner, or the quarterback? I'm pretty sure the coach, GM, owner owe him more for the Super Bowl. And he's been pillar.
Dude, it's always, unfortunately, it's always going to benefit the GM, coach, because it makes you're not, no, Tom Brady didn't win. The Patriots, the Patriots won. You get where I'm going with that? Like,
yeah, and the Patriots were kind of a nothing franchise before Tom. Like, I mean, not
they
nothing.
Were bad.
They went to a few Super Bowls, but
they were bad.
They weren't elite.
Before Bledsoe got there, they were terrible.
Yeah, they weren't. The last time they were good before Bledsoe and Brady was 1985 when they faced the Bears and lost.
And the Bears beat the brakes off of them like 42-10, I think. Yeah, it was like 42. They beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah, a lot of people are agreeing with me in the chat, saying that they're mad at Belichick. You guys should be mad at Belichick, because here's the thing.
If you're a Patriots fan, I don't know how you couldn't be. I don't know how you couldn't look at this and go, damn, they kind of fucked Brady on the way out. Like, they kind of stuck it to him on the way out there.
I just don't believe he's going to win like he won anymore. I don't believe the Patriots are going to just make Jared Stidham the next Tom Brady. I just don't think that's possible. It's really not.
I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I'm still a fan of the team, but I don't like how they did Brady. Like, they kind of did Brady dirty on the way out.
To me, if you bring 6 rings, you can suck and play as long as you want. To me, that's what I would do. I'm just saying, because that's the thing. Like, Belichick, this is all about Bill Walsh, and we talked about it. This is all about Bill
I mean,
Walsh.
I'll watch the team, right? But I will watch every game like I usually do, or as many games as humanly possible, and I'm still a fan of the team, right? I'm not like a band. I'm not a bandwagon. Like I'm still gonna root for him. I'm still gonna watch, and I'm still gonna, I'm still a fan. But it's just the expectations have got to be adjusted. As a Pats fan, you have to take a logical step back and look at the situation and adjust the expectations, because if you put too much pressure on the young kid, that's not good for him either.
And I really believe, man, I really, really, truly believe that if Bill would have said, just you know what, kiss his rings, kiss those 6 rings a little bit, kiss Tom's 6 rings, just a teensy bit. Tom would take $15 million a year. You think Tom isn't negotiable like that? Tom is the most like selfless guy you can get on your team. So all
I
you need to do is love him a little bit.
if Bill had actually see, here's where I think the disconnect was. Brady and Bill needed to sit down and have a talk, and and actually communicate with one another. And I don't think anything like that ever truly went down. Like,
As far as
and
I know,
it was one
and
phone call, JD. Remember me and you talked about it. One single phone call in like a year and a half.
30 mil. That's it.
And
And yeah,
but see, that phone call was controversial too, because remember what we were talking. Remember we had said, all Belichick had said we already gave you an offer, and it was like literally a 30-second phone call, and he hung. Remember that?
yep.
Even
And
that.
it did not go well according to sources. That's what they said. The phone call was not a good phone call. So yeah, clearly there was an ego clash, and it was like an immovable object hit a unstoppable force, and it stopped. Nothing. Yeah, nothing can go forward after that.
It just and the thing that it's aggravating though, because like, as a Pats fan, you're looking at this and you're going, we were, at least most of us, I think, we were under the impression that these guys were going to communicate, they're going to get this done, they're going to get Brady maybe one more year on a contract, just give him 1 or 2 years, let him retire here. Like, that was my assumption, that they would work it out.
Vegas odds agreed with you. It was like 12% he leaves.
Yeah.
Most people thought he was fake.
I will say one of the biggest blows to those negotiations was when we learned that Robert Kraft was going to have nothing to do with them. Remember when that report came out that these negotiations were left strictly up to Bill Belichick? And I remember reading that going, "Uh-oh."
That ain't good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know he's going after that.
Belichick, I think, has wanted to move on from Brady for a couple of years now. I think he's wanted to move on for a few years now.
And Brady's not done, man. Like, nobody thinks he's done. Kyle Shanahan was on the phone with Belichick, and they were talking Garoppolo for Brady, 1-for-1 pick. And this is a verified sources. This actually did happen. Obviously, they didn't pull the trigger because they couldn't sign Brady and for other various reasons. But they decided to stick with Garoppolo. But the point is that other coaches think that Brady can still play, think that he can still win a title.
Oh, there's no doubt, and the like I said, if you take a look at all this new stuff, it's just so frustrating, because it's like all that he said, all that hearsay shit that we were all like, that can't be true, that can't be true. It's all like all these. Look at how Brady's acting in Tampa Bay. Look at how Brady's acting in Tampa Bay. It was all true. All that there's a wedge between the two. Brady can't stand Bill. All those TMZ report. All that. Like 9 out of 10 of those reports. All this stuff coming out now, and you just look at Brady's attitude and the way he is, dude. It was like it's Brady's attitude of 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
he's motivated.
Dude, he's super motivated, and it's just like you have to take a step back and go, yeah, yeah, man, they really did hate each other behind the scene. Like they really didn't like each other. Like that report that came out that phone call was the first contact in a year, like outside of the game, like outside of the football field. That seems more plausible and more true now. It's just frustrating to me as a fan because you see it's like I want that Tom Brady that's in, like I want that attitude back. Like he still had more to give for the Pats. That's what I'm so like mad about. Like he still had more to give, and
He
now
could have had
and
number
now he's
7.
giving it to another team, and it sucks.
And dude, it's just not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. They want like even if Stidham is good, let's say Stidham is Baker Mayfield, or who's a better example. Let's say he's as good as Jared Goff. Let's throw that out there, or even Teddy Bridgewater, something in that caliber. Um, he's just not going to win a Super Bowl like that. Tom had the game down. Like he was playing 3D chess while everyone else was playing checkers. You know what I mean? Like Tom understood the game more. And Belichick, just like you said, this ego is so big that he thinks, oh well, without me, Tom isn't doing that. That's not true, man. Like you just look at the field. Belichick got carried by Tom just as much as Belichick carried Tom, and that's why they won so many games. But I also, somebody said in the chat, Tom Brady, well, a few people actually have said that Brady's going to be good in Tampa. He really is going to be good in Tampa, man. He has
the weapons that he has down there are stupid.
Huge receivers, huge slot guys, really good slot guys.
Mike Evans is going to have a goddamn career year.
I believe
Evans is going to have a freaking career year. Think about that, like, dude, the deep post to Mike Evans, and then Godwin over the middle of the field. Come on, dude, like, and they actually have like an accurate, hard throwing, like motivated quarterback getting them the football. And not only that, right? Brady can also read defenses better than Jameis can. So he's going to audible, right? He's going to audible that team into, like, just his on the field knowledge, dude. Like, those receivers in Tampa Bay are going to have a freaking career year this year.
I agree, and also look out, because I still called it. I called it one of the last Brady watches. Watch out, Julian Edelman's going to Tampa. Calling it. Calling it. Why would he stick around and get yelled at all day by Bill and like be treated like shit when he could just go play with Brady at a higher level? Because he's not going to play the same level with Jared Stidham. He's just not. Stidham is not going to understand the nuances of his game. You said, JD, your Bucks or the Bucks are going to play the Bears this year. We're going to get them. Nick Foles.
Wait, are the Bucks and Bears playing each other?
Yeah, I think so. That's awesome. Yeah, he has Gronk and OJ Howard and Cameron Brate. He has 3 solid tight ends, and Belichick wouldn't even get him one. And he still threw for 4,000 yards without a good tight end. You telling me he won't be good?
And not only that, he wouldn't draft one either.
He wouldn't draft one. He wouldn't draft a receiver. He drafted an O-lineman. I'll give him that. But he wouldn't draft a receiver. He hates Brady. He knew this.
But he picked N'Keal Harry, but he had opportunities at better guys, and let you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They traded out of the first round. I mean, how many times has he had opportunities at better guys for Brady over the years and traded out of the first round? Like,
if I remember right, they could have gotten T.J. Hawkinson.
Yes,
they were like in the area.
They had a shot at Hawkinson. They had a shot at Hawkinson, and they let him pass. They passed over him.
Crazy.
Yeah, they had a shot at Hawkinson. They did. What's up, Micro Mike? What up, Micro Mike?
I lose a lot of respect for Bill Belichick these days. And you know what? If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. But right now, I think he's going to fail.
It's just. I mean, like I said, this is just for all the Patriots fans in the chat. If you're a Pats fan, are you mad at are you mad at Tom Brady for acting the way he's acting and going back to his normal maniacal winning over everything attitude, or is it just a side effect of being away from he's is it a side effect of him being away from Bill, JD? Is it, what I mean? Like, he's finally away from Bill. He's away from the dude who was pissing him off for the last couple of years, and now it's like, well, you know what? Like, but see that. So that's the question: are you mad at Brady for going back? Like, because he could have had this same attitude 2 years ago. He could have, but he just said, "Fuck it."
Fire Destroyer says, yes, Bobby, I am, because that means he planned to leave for a while. Yes, Fire Destroyer, he did plan to leave for a while. Rumors has it, multiple people say this, that after the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl loss, Brady, and keep in mind, they won a Super Bowl after that.
They won. Yeah, they won. They beat the Rams after that.
They still plan on leaving. So Brady has been thinking about this for a long time. Pretty much after they traded Garoppolo, then they lost in the Super Bowl. Bam. Then he was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm tired of getting disrespected. I'm not mad at Tom. I wouldn't be mad at Tom if I was a Boston fan, because he probably wanted to do this, but he didn't want to give Bill the benefit of the doubt. I don't know. He just didn't want to give him so much credit as he does.
Yeah, so that's my question, Pats fans. Are you mad at Tom Brady for going back to the same attitude, or are you more mad at Bill for being like, you forced him out, dude? Like, you forced this dude out.
Tom or Bill, pick a side.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's so it's who like, are you mad? Like, can you really be mad at Tom Brady for having for being like, all right, now it's time to focus and time to it's time to work. You know what I mean? It's like it's business as usual. It's like it was 3 years ago.
I mean, he's basically a coach.
Yeah,
he's like older than most of the coaches.
He's an on the field coach for those guys. He's literally a coach on the football field that can actually be on the field during the game. So Brayton says Bill. Mike says Micro Mike says Tom's the GOAT. Yes, he is. Hey, Micro Mike with the $2 super chat. Hey, thanks, Micro Mike. What up, Jared Williams? But yeah, so my question to you guys, Pats Nation, is: Are you mad at Brady for going back to the way he was 3 years ago, or are you looking at Bill? Are you looking at Bill and Bob Kraft and being like, you're gonna regret this move?
Fire Destroyer says he's more mad at Brady because you would have had legacy loyalty to add on with us. My only thing with that is, Fire Destroyer, let me ask you this really quick. Isn't 20 years and 6 titles enough to have like that forever, to be immortalized? I'm just saying, like, it feels like Peyton Manning is immortalized after 1 title in India and 1 title in Denver. He's immortalized in both places. But Brady's not? Like, come on. But good point. I mean, if you would have stayed forever, you could always say, yeah, I stayed with the one franchise. It's like Derek Jeter.
What did I also say to you when we start? Remember, I told you this one thing too when Brady Watch started, JD. I said this could end very ugly.
Oh yeah, we knew it, and we both had our ideas how it could end.
Me and you had both said that this could end. That this was, and I've been saying it. Me and you have both been saying it for a while. That this is going to end really ugly. This is not going to be a pretty Tom Brady rides off into the sunset moment. It's not. As soon as we found out that Bill was in charge of the negotiations, I think that's when me and you were like, yeah, this is not going to be a Tom Brady rides off into the sunset and goes out the way he wants. It's as soon as it was, once that was Bill's decision. I think I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming, but I hoped that it would go a different direction.
I think Kraft really was hoping that after the Rams beating the Rams in the Super Bowl, I think that he was hoping Brady would leave,
would retire,
and they could rebuild.
Yeah,
but Brady was like, "Nope, I'm not done." So here we are. It was going to end pretty because Belichick wanted him to leave too. He's wanted him to leave since before Philly.
Okay, so Jersey, Jersey Life is a Giants fan. So let's get an outside perspective on this. So Jersey Life, and anybody who's not a Pats fan, anybody who's not a Patriots fan. So Jersey Life, I'm gonna pose the question to you, bro. Um, would you be mad at Tom Brady knowing that he's back to the his normal attitude and working through OTAs, and basically he has that win over everything attitude back, um instead of not coming to OTAs and only going to meetings that he was going to go to during his Patriots time? Would you be mad at him, or would you be mad at Bill and Robert Kraft for not doing more to keep him here? So that would be, I'm curious to know the fans' point of view that's outside of New England.
Good question. I don't
Because
see how you can be mad.
they have no rooting interest in this. You know what I mean? So an outside perspective is always interesting. Because I have a rooting interest. I'm upset at I'm leaning and looking at this and going, like all that BS that we heard before, like like we said earlier, all that BS that we heard, that there's no divide, that Bill and Tom are communicating, that there's no, there's no tension in the locker room. Bullshit. All that was bullshit. There was, Bill and Tom did have tension. All that stuff, all that other stuff, you can just toss it out the damn door. Like, it was all that. There was tension. Tom clearly was not happy for an extended period of time.
Um, yeah, I don't see. I just don't see how 6 rings buys you a lot. Yeah, like the Bears have 1 ring, and they still worship Jim McMahon, and he sucked. He was not a good quarterback, and we won with him. A lot of teams are not as spoiled as the Patriots, and I think that they just got rid of their gravy train, if you ask me.
So Jersey Life brings up what we talked about earlier. He said he helped you guys win 6 rings along with coaching. He took multiple pay cuts the whole time he was there. You can't be mad at Tom. Yeah, dude. Jersey, I'm with you, man. You just, it makes me look at Bill, the organization, and just be like, I hope you guys know what you're doing, because the guy clearly had more to give. There was clearly more in the tank, and I hope that you guys know what you're doing.
I don't think Bill does. I think he had a plan with Garoppolo, and since that plan got spoiled,
Mad.
yeah, he's just mad, and he's pushing everything out of he's pushing Tom away, and he was hoping Tom would retire.
See, I thought for a little bit that if Tom beat the Rams, I thought for a little while he might. I thought he might retire for a little bit. I did. Go out on top, go out like Peyton Manning did, win the Super Bowl, just go out on top. You have nothing left to prove. You're the greatest, the greatest quarterback to ever play. You have nothing left to prove. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer. Go out on top. I did. I thought he would. I thought he would for a while. For a while, I thought he would.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, man. It's not sad because we're gonna see the end result of both sides. You know what I mean? Like, Belichick is chasing Bill Walsh, who won with 2 different quarterbacks. That's the only thing he's chasing anymore. I really believe that. I really believe that's all Bill Belichick really cares about right now. I don't think he cares about the Patriots.
You know what he's chasing right now? Shula.
He wants to be undefeated.
He wants that Shula record. He said it. He said it on record. He wants that he wants that record. He's got to win double-digit games for 6 years to catch him.
Yeah, man. It's just crazy. It's just crazy because they've had so many opportunities to be great. Yeah, Micro Mike says Patriots fans are spoiled. They really are. They've had 20 straight years of success. Most teams are lucky to have two or three in a row. So I don't. I think Belichick is about to be rudely. I think Brady will be fine in Tampa. I don't know if he'll win a Super Bowl. I think he'll make the playoffs at least once. But Belichick, I don't think he understands what he just gave up. I really don't. It's kind of like Popovich when Tim Duncan retired. I brought up this parallel before, but once you get rid of the foundation of the shit that you built, it'll all start crumbling to pieces, and you'll end up with DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, and that's your team. And Belichick is going to end up with like Andy Dalton someday. It's going to be bad. He isn't in it for the team. He's in it for the legacy. I agree with you, CJB. Belichick is all about ego.
His see now, I think if this is the two, there has been a couple of moments in Belichick's career where you go, yeah, but you preach team over everything, but your ego got in the way in this decision, and it's blatantly fucking obvious. The one that stands out to everybody is the Malcolm Butler Super Bowl. That is the one. That dude played 98% of the snaps that year. 98%. And you're telling me that what you had on the field was better than Milk? No, that is a crock of straight shit, and you know it. And for you to feed, Patriots fans that and tell them that, and to try and get that narrative across, dude, it's like, come on, man. You're saying we can't read between the lines. His ego got in the way of that decision. He should have swallowed his freaking pride. What it was like, there's multiple reports on what went on behind the scenes, but something did, right? We can all agree that
Absolutely.
we're not certain what did, but something did. Bill needed to swallow his pride and put Malcolm Butler on the damn field, and that Malcolm Butler makes that tackle. Malcolm Butler, Patriots fans know what I'm talking about. He makes that tackle on third down, and they win that damn Super Bowl.
He covers Alshon Jeffrey better. They might not have even lost the lead if he was in the game. There's a lot of things that might have not happened. It might not have even led to a tackle. They might have been up by 14 if Butler was in. When you take out a guy who's going to play, like you said, 98% of the snaps throughout the season, and then you expect your defense to play the exact same in the Super Bowl, the biggest moment of their career, it's just stupid. It's not smart. And Brady threw for 500 yards. Record.
500 yards and 5 touchdowns in that game, and they fucking lost. And the Patriots lost that game. Let that sink in. They lost the game, and Brady had those statistics.
It's crazy.
So Micro Mike brings up an interesting point. He said, if the Lions are a top 5 pick in this year's coming draft, he would trade Stafford to the Patriots.
That's interesting. I don't know if Stafford would be good for Belichick because, well, actually, I don't know.
Pocket passer, big guy, strong arm.
It'd be well. Here's my question: Is McDaniel's? How long is McDaniel staying? Is it just this year? Is it until he gets another really big offer, a great offer? How long is McDaniel staying? Because Belichick is not that great of an offensive guy. He's relied on other guys. He's relied on Bill O'Brien, Charlie Weiss, McDaniels, a lot of different guys, Eric Mangini, and I don't know. I don't know if Belichick can win without McDaniels.
So CJB says we need to let Stidham develop, or we're going to end up with another Brian Hoyer. That's very true. That's very true. Or you better, or I'll do you one better. You better hope he develops. You better hope he develops into what people think of him, or it is going to be another like it is
I
going to
don't
be
think
another
there's
Brian
anything you
Hoyer.
can do to replace Brady this year.
No,
I don't think there's anything you can do.
nope.
Trading for Aaron Rodgers, that's the only thing. And then you have to pay him 35 mil. So you'd be paying him way more than Brady. Just I don't know, man. It doesn't look good for you Patriots fans. I pity you a little bit, but at the same time, I can't pity you because you won for the last 20 years. So it's about time you ate some dust.
No, I know. And that dude, that's a whole nother subject that we could even get it. It's like the like dude, I'm gonna be 35 in September, so I know what it was like. Like I saw 4 or 5 like I saw the Bledsoe, I saw the Bledsoe years. I saw pre Brady. I saw those years, and I mean, there are a lot. The expectation, like with with an uncertainty at quarterback and the schedule coming up that we have to play this year, you have to logically look at this and say it's going to be really hard to get double digit wins this year. Really hard.
As hard as ever. As hard as Belichick has ever, because that's what I was talking about earlier. You guys don't really have anyone on offense. You really don't. You don't have really anyone. Edelman, I guess, but he's not going to carry your offense. You're going to have like 8 other pieces before you get him.
Yeah. No, scoring points this year for us is going to be tough.
And you lost Kyle Van Noy too. The only thing you got is a good secondary, I would say. Dak Prescott to the Pats.
Micro Mike brought an interesting one up. He said Aaron Rodgers to the Patriots.
Yeah, that'd be the only way
for a 1-year deal.
That'd be the only way I could see them winning.
But I don't know. But I don't know if he would come here though. You're going from, some halfway decent weapons in Green Bay to
right
next to nothing. And on top of that, if he's only going to play here for 1 year, damn well he's going to want he's going to want money. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, Dak Prescott, he is not going to get offered. I talked about this in my other video. He's not going to get offered 175 from any other team. The Patriots are not going to offer him 175. No way.
He'll be lucky to get 140 out of the Pats. 130 even.
I don't see it. That'd be like 130 for 6 years.
But you know what I mean? Like there's some big time questions this year for the Pats. I was just curious to know, I like I said, JD, it's where do you direct it's like, if you're a Pats fan, where should you direct your disdain if they don't do well this, and to me it's you have to look at you have to look at Bill and Bob Kraft. Like that's they you have to. Brady was saying that, like, you have to, I would go to them first, right? I would look at Bill and Bob Kraft first when it comes to the criticism. But Tom also did kind of give them the finger and quit on him, Once he figured out that he was, I don't want to call it quit on him, but he wasn't putting out the same maniacal attitude and effort, once I go to Brady for this. You waited too long. You waited too long to ask for your big time payday.
After Garoppolo, that's when he should have got it.
Well, he waited too long. That, in my opinion, that would be my criticism, because you have to spread it around. I think you have to spread the criticism around to all of them.
I agree.
You waited till you're 40 years old to ask for, like, your big payday. That's unrealistic. After you beat the Falcons is when he should have asked for that massive payday.
Yeah, check, please.
Yeah, after he beat the Falcons is when he should have pushed for the raise for the big pay raise, because he would have been absolutely deserving of it. And in 3 year, in 2 or 3 years, you could have drafted instead of, I mean, like you would have been almost in the same spot. You would have almost been in the same spot. You probably wouldn't have been able to sign. The only players that would probably be gone would be Pat Chung and the McCourties. But outside of that, the team would look pretty similar.
And I think Belichick only cares about the secondary right now. He thinks he can win a lot of games on a secondary, but the
You know
game
how
is
the
going towards offense.
well, go ahead, JD. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good. I was just going to say the game is going towards more of an offensive-minded game, and you don't really have any receivers.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Um,
Good
Hey,
conversation, CJ.
CJB, hey man, I would take Watson too. If we could somehow manage to get Deshaun Watson over here, I would. I like Watson. I think Billy O'Brien is kind of. I think Billy O'Brien's kind of wasting his talents down there in Texas.
They would
Um,
fire Bill O'Brien before they traded Watson.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they if they got Watson, they need to put weapons around him though. They need to. They can't just roll like the Pats and Bill are in for, I think. um it's interesting because it's do are you going to see the same mentality out of the Pats offensively? Are you going to see the same dink and dunk style, or are they going to be throwing deep? Are they going to be run and gun now that they have a young quarterback in Stidham, and they have
I think it's got to be run and gun. Yeah, I mean,
I
it has to be.
I think they almost have to change the philosophy. Now that Brady's gone, like that
If you give them
offense
the
was.
same look with less talent and less intelligence, people are going to eat you alive in your division.
Yeah. Well, Brady. I mean, you know how Brady lived. He lived in that 8 to 18 yard range. And he was. That was dude. That was his whole career. You know what I mean? 8 to 18 yards, and just throw it accurately and let your playmakers do the rest. Get the ball into the hands of a playmaker and let him work. That was his career. But that's what he was so good at. He could get the balls to the playmakers accurately and on time, and just let them do their thing.
Nobody was better in short yardage than Brady.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever been that good at short yards. He said, to be honest, I don't know about you, but Matt Ryan would look nice in a Patriots jersey. I bet he wants to be at the Patriots right now.
I don't trust Matt Ryan in high pressure situations. Belichick can adapt. He can. LA. I agree. I agree with that. He's definitely a good enough coach to adapt. Um, the fact of the matter is, how long is it going to take that offensive scheme to gain momentum and gain trust and gain, what I mean? Like, when you switch from one system to a completely different one, it's the chemistry, the timing, all that stuff that goes along with that. And the Patriots, now they can't afford any stupid off wins, and or off losses. You know what I mean? Like, every win this year is going to be like mission critical for the Patriots.
And they have to play to Stidham's strengths, which I don't really know what those are. Like, I'm not sure. Like, he looks like, I watch his tape and I'm like, all right, he has a couple of good throws here and there, but what are his strengths? And I don't really know what those are.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen. I haven't even seen. Dude, he's thrown 4 passes on an NFL field. 4
passes
in a real game, not a preseason game, real game. 4.
Right, and you can't count
Four.
preseason because the secondaries aren't even they're not doing
That's what I'm
anything.
saying. Not even a real game. He's thrown
Yeah.
4 passes in a real game, and 1 out of those 4 was intercepted for a pick six.
He thrived at Auburn, but I don't know. That's just it's just such a different like Josh McDaniels. Here's the thing: I'll give Stidham a little bit of a chance because Josh McDaniels took Tim Tebow, which a lot of coaches thought worthless, not even a third string quarterback. McDaniels took Tim Tebow and he won a playoff game. So I think the underrated X factor in this situation is Josh McDaniels because they still have him on contract for a few more years. So if he can make an offense that fits towards Stidham, who knows what Stidham could turn into. But how, again, I asked this earlier, how long are you going to keep McDaniels? You can't keep him forever. He's going to eventually want to be a head coach. So I don't know.
No, yeah, no, that's a definite. Somebody will eventually offer him, head coach money.
If we fail with Matt
So,
Nagy, we'll take it.
so Coach K in the house. Let's ask him the question that we asked earlier in the chat, JD, and that was Coach, who are you? Would you be mad if you were a Patriots fan? Would you be mad at Tom Brady seeing how he's acting down in Florida with the same maniacal, winning over everything attitude, and he's basically back to the way he was 4 years, 4 or 5 years ago? That same attitude, the leadership, just everything Brady in his prime was back. He's acting like a freaking leader down there, and just a completely different. Uh, Jay, you laughing? It's true though. It's a completely, you know what I'm saying? It's a completely different attitude
I'm
from
laughing
what
because I
he
thought of something.
from what he was here in the last 2 years, because he didn't go to mandatory training, like he didn't go to any of the voluntary training stuff at the last couple of years. And you look at the reports down in Tampa, and he's there and he's working his ass off.
Man, I'm telling you, this question, which is a good question, definitely, especially for Patriots fans right now, I think it's stemmed and rooted in jealousy. Because it's like you're married, you're happily married for like 18 years to somebody, and everything's going so well, like you're just the best family in the world. And then all of a sudden, the last 2 years are really rocky, and then you split. And that's kind of what's going on here. And now you're looking at the other side and saying, "Damn, I miss them. I wish they would come and do that for me." And it's like
Yeah.
you miss the good times, and that's what Brady's
Yeah.
giving to the Bucs right now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the break. The split has rejuvenated and refocused Tom for sure. Like no doubt about it. I hope Bill's probably going to be the same way. We just haven't been able to see it, but I hope that I hope that that I hope that he is. That Bill is back to like just that that win at all cost at it. Like because he's kind of lost it too a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he's with all the drama and shit. I think that's been going on behind the scene, like backstage. Behind the scenes with all this stuff. I think it's distracted him a little as well too.
It's a distraction for everybody. I think Bill is also kind of a little bit just a tad depressed about it too because hey, what's up, Coach Plays? Thanks for everybody who's subscribing all of a sudden. I really appreciate that for sure. But yeah, man, I agree. Like, there's a lot of things going on. I think Bill is going to be extra, for lack of a better term, dickish. He's going to be focused. That's a better word. He's going to be extra focused, and everybody.
Well, yeah, back to being his normal like dick self. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's going to be hilarious. I would love to get training camp behind the scenes. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Like if they did a documentary, but they won't because they're the Patriots.
They've only done one like behind the scenes thing.
And it wasn't it. Do your job. Was that the behind the scenes?
Well, it was. They did one following them on one of their Super Bowl runs. It was like behind the scenes access for every game. It was they only did one thing like that, and that was it. But the do your job was one too. Like that was behind the scenes as well. But the other one was kind of even more in depth than that. So coach plays. I'm curious. I'm going to ask you this question. Sorry, I keep going through the chat, guys, but I want to
Do
get
it.
these guys' opinion on it because they're one. They have previous. They have they have previous Patriots players as coaches. So coach plays, like the title of this stream says, are you, if you were a Pats fan, would you be mad at Tom Brady seeing how he's acting down in Tampa? The same, that win at all cost attitude, the leadership is back, the focus is back, the Brady just the Brady of old is back. Um would you be mad at Brady for that, or would you kind of turn your head and look at Bill like, you better hope to God you know what the fuck you're doing, because look at what you just let walk. Look at what you just let walk away. So that's the question.
It does sound like a. It sounds. Yeah. It's jealousy. And who wouldn't be
It's like,
jealous?
because we said it, dude. It's like, I
Who wouldn't
want
be
that
jealous?
Brady. I want that Brady back in like the red, white, and blue. I want to see the flying Elvis on that Brady's helmet. You know what I mean? Like, what the
Captain.
hell?
Yeah, he's
Huh?
been your captain for 2 decades. I mean, it'd be weird if you didn't feel a certain way.
I just hope Bill's as focused as Brady is, because Brady is looking to make a freaking run at it.
Interesting. He says, "It would probably be a little stinger by it because they are small shots of the organization, but you have to look at it from his perspective." Or yeah, and how he felt disrespected. Think about that, man. Like he talks about this a lot on Howard Stern about how
That dude, and sorry to cut you off, but that Stern interview was awesome.
it was amazing because
That
we've never
Stern
heard
interview
Brady
was
like that.
awesome.
He was
Go,
himself.
yeah, he could finally like let his guard down a little bit and actually be himself.
I don't know if it was. I mean, it was funny. I mean, he admitted to smoking pot. Uh, he admitted to a lot of. It was funny. It was a good interview, and it really was revealing about how, because this is the thing, he did ask him about the Patriots. He asked him how he felt about Belichick, and he was like, "Oh, I respect Belichick still." So he still is towing the line legacy wise. Like he doesn't publicly talk crap about Belichick. These are all like people behind the scenes, assistant coaches, other sources, like Bobby said, coming out and saying, "Yeah, these guys are at each other's throats behind the scenes." But in public, they're like, Bill's like, "Oh, Tom's the greatest quarterback of all time," and Brady's like, "Oh, Bill's the best. I love Bill." But secretly, they talk a lot of crap because he
Yeah,
should.
and that's like the most frustrating part about all this, because it's like, well, all those reports that were coming out that we were hearing, through the Brady Watch thing, like that they hadn't talked and that there was disdain from 2 years prior. Like, how can you look at Brady right now down in Tampa and be like, yeah, there, of course there was, because look, he's acting like Brady in his prime. Like, there had to have been some disdain and some
When he didn't show up for OTAs the last 2 years, I'm sure that Belichick had a few things to say about it, and I'm sure they did discuss it. Like, hey, what's up, man? I thought you were going to bring the same energy every year. And Brady's like, well, maybe if you treated me better, maybe if you played better defense in the Eagles game, maybe I would act that way. But now I don't have to. And he's going into Tampa and saying, "Hey man, like I am all in. We are going to get Tampa Bay their second Super Bowl. We're going to kick some ass." And yeah, Patriots fans are like, "Damn, where was this for the last 2 years?" It's like, where have you been for me lately? And it's justified. I think it's justified. A lot of Pats fans might not.
What's up, Cole? Welcome to the stream, man. What is going on, Cole? So, Cole, are you a Patriots fan? What team do you represent, bud? Are you a Pats fan? we got all sorts of fans in here. My man JD on the screen's a Bears fan.
Born
We
and raised.
have some. I believe we have some Giants fans in the chat. We have fans from all over. I am a Patriots fan. We have some Titans fans in the chat as well.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks. 750. It's been great. I love doing streams with this guy over here. 752. You're right.
And counting.
And counting. I love doing streams with my guy Bobby here. He's always got a lot of interesting talking points and everything. And I do like talking.
Dude, I just thought this was interesting because all those reports that were coming out. Remember that all those hearsay reports that people, that Bob Kraft and Bill kind of pushed aside and wrote off as being nothing. Turns out that, dude, where there's smoke, there's fire. There was some truth. There was some truth to him because for Brady to just automatically get down to Tampa and flip a switch and be acting like the Brady of 5 years ago, like, what does that tell you? That tells you that he was fed up and sick of it here, dude.
I think he was. I think he was getting sick of it for sure. Well, what really I think pushed him over the edge. But besides the Butler thing, besides the Philly thing, besides all that stuff, I think what really pushed Brady over the edge was what I was talking about earlier with the fact that Bill didn't draft, didn't sign, didn't even get an undrafted guy. He got basically no good tight ends. His tight ends, Brady is a guy, if you look at the advanced stats, okay, Aaron Rodgers throws to his tight ends I think 12 to 13% of the time. Manning threw 20% of the time. A lot of guys threw the average was 15 to 20%. That was the average, their tight end throws. Brady's was 28. Think about that for a second. 8% higher than the average throwing to tight ends. And what did Bill do? He said, "Oh yeah, I know Gronk's gone. Let's see if you can win without a good tight end. And I'm not even going to sign one." There was 5 available. He could have traded for Antonio Gates. He could have traded for a lot of guys. He didn't do anything like that. Gronk was "Screw this, I'm out of here," and then he comes back a few years later.
Yeah. So Cole says he's a Jets fan. So Cole, what do you think of all this? Would you be mad at Tom Brady for acting the way he is if you were us, or would you blame ownership? Because I tend to lean towards seeing how Brady's acting down in Tampa. Cole, I'm leaning towards. I'm looking at ownership being like, well, you better know what you're doing because clearly that guy down in Tampa had more to give. There was clearly more in the tank, and y'all drove him away. That would be my initial thought of that. Leedy, man, that gap's going to close pretty quick, man. I mean, with the question marks that we got at quarterback, I think our records this coming season could look pretty similar.
I gave him my PC answer for the Jay Cutler question. I could go all in profanities and stuff, but I decided to give him because he asked me about Jay Cutler. I decided to give him a PC answer.
Cutler for me here. You know how I could sum up Cutler?
How's that?
He could never there was hype surrounding him, right?
He he's Josh Allen the first year.
Cutler got to a certain point and literally and figuratively hit a brick wall in learning the game of football. He got to a certain point and just stopped. That same skill set never got better. That's how I could describe his career. The first 2 or 3 years, it progressed and progressed, and then literally it just stopped. It just stopped. He just hit a brick wall for some reason.
I don't blame Cutler entirely because we'll go back to Brady in a second, but really, really quick, I don't blame him entirely because we had Lovie Smith and was it Marty or something like that? It was Mike Marty or something. Anyway, we had a bad offensive coaching staff, right? We had a bad offensive coaching staff. So Cutler kind of walked into a bad offensive coaching staff initially. It was built around a run game, and he walked into it, and he just wasn't ready for a deep passer. So it was kind of like it was kind of like fitting a square peg into a round hole. It just wasn't working. But eventually, we got him the talent that he needed, and he still kind of sucked. So that's where he's kind of that's where he failed to me. He just never adapted. But yeah, back to Brady. It's interesting.
But yeah, it's
Entire career, man. It's like 22 years. It's incredible.
just to see. I will say this: I do kind of, even though he's not on the Patriots, I do kind of like seeing that like win it all. Like I like seeing a focused Tom Brady is a dangerous Tom Brady. The age regardless. When Tom is locked in and laser focused like that, like watch out, watch out. When he is that type of focused, and he's starting in fucking June, like I'm dude. When he's that type of focused, there's nothing but good stuff comes from that.
He wants this.
Yeah,
So he can tell Belichick
yeah,
what he
yeah.
wants.
This is Tom Brady's middle finger fuck you tour to Belichick. That's what this is. That's what this season is. It's the not so much to the Patriots and organization and their fans, but to Bill. This is the screw you, Bill. This is the Bill, the Belichick redemption tour. That's what this is.
The Belichick redemption. I love it.
He's gonna try. This is his moment to stick it to Bill, because the signs have been around for a while, JD, that Bill's tried to move on from Brady, and the organization, the high, Kraft and Bob Kraft and Jonathan Kraft, and the organization, like, it was almost too bold of a move, because every time they tried to get rid of him, right? Every time they would try and get rid of him, he'd win a fucking Super Bowl. So it's like, how can you justify that to Pats Nation, to Patriots fans everywhere? Oh, our guy just won a freaking Super Bowl, but guess what? We traded him to the freaking Buccaneers.
Brady's a lot like Michael Jordan, where he needs like motivation. Like any little thing can set him off into like a 2-year tizzy of just like explosive greatness, basically. And I think wanting our Belichick after 4 Super Bowls, one where he came back down 28-3. After that, like you said, he felt incredibly disrespected, because he's like, dude, I just got you a Super Bowl where you were down 28-3. And that fueled the fire to win 2 more Super Bowls after that. And the whole time during those Super Bowl runs, Belichick didn't even want him there. Oh, I guess one more Super Bowl. He went to 2 more. Sorry, I messed that up.
Yeah.
So interesting.
No, just the fact that they were able, with all that tension behind the scenes, JD, the fact that they were able to beat the Rams in a Super Bowl like that, like the fact that they were able to win a Super Bowl with that much tension behind the scenes, just goes to show how good that organization has their shit together to be able to do that.
Well, and Belichick, I think that McDaniels, because I always say this to a lot of people. Belichick won the Rams Super Bowl. Okay, he deserves all the credit in the world for that. He beat Sean McVay. Sean McVay had 28 points per game with that offense, and he held him to 3 points. So he deserves that one. The Eagles one was Belichick's fault that he lost. It was Belichick's fault. There's a lot of like faults versus.
I think Bill did Thomas solid for losing the Eagle game with the Rams one. I think he did him a solid.
He had to bring it, because, man, if I'm looking at that, I'm like, well, who do I blame here? I can't blame Tom. Tom threw 500 yards, for God's sake. I have to blame myself to look in the mirror. Like you're the reason why the Eagles got the best of you. Why my guy Big Dick Nick, who's about to win another Super Bowl, took you down.
um,
It's past the 5 minutes. So I can say
it
that.
really is, but see, that's why I wanted to ask the chat. It really is a tough question, though. It really is, because I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can really blame him. You know, I don't know if you can really be mad at like that perfect analogy with the that you had earlier. Like that's perfect. It's like it's more like why couldn't we have that? Like, you know, why couldn't we have that? It's I don't know if you can blame like yeah it's just they Brady got tired of just not being reckoned, like Bill not showing him any type of like. But here's the thing, you that's how Bill is, though. He doesn't show anybody recognition, because in his eyes, you win as a team, you lose as it's a team thing. But he's like, for Bill, like, all, like you said earlier, all Brady wanted Bill to do was just say, like, I realize it's a team thing, but you were a huge part of the,
That's all he wanted.
yeah, yeah.
Just wanted him to say the words. What's it? Tom Brady's wife, Giselle, in Tom
Yeah.
versus Time, the last scene of Tom versus Time was how she was expressing how Brady just wanted a little bit of credit for all he's done. He never got it. He never got it. At least not from Bill. Obviously, the fans and everything and Kraft and everything, that was good enough for a long time. But at the end of the day, you got to go to work with only one guy and talk to one guy at work. And that guy better respect you if you really do as much as you're doing. But it's nuts, and it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Belichick, I mean, and the thing is, Belichick he does have favorite players. He has favorite players. People talked about it all the time. Teddy
Why do you
Bruschi
think?
was
Why do
one
you
of his
think?
favorite
Why do you think
players.
Devin McCourty and Patrick Chung are still here?
Devin McCourty, Patrick Chung. He loves those guys. He'll talk up those guys. He'll talk up Belichick, I think, has a defensive back bias. A lot of defensive backs don't respect quarterbacks. They don't like quarterbacks. They talk crap about quarterbacks. And I think that Belichick has that mentality too. He's like, you're just a quarterback. You just throw the ball and run my offense. Nobody cares about you. And Brady wanted to hear one time, like, dude, you needed me. Even the ones, and that's the thing, even the ones that that were really great, Bruschi and all these guys, Vrabel and everything, Belichick loved them, treated them with respect, but Belichick also tried to trade them. So Belichick has not, he's been consistent. He's been consistent.
So if you guys don't have my man JD, I just dropped his link in the chat.
Thanks, bro.
Make sure y'all grab my dude up. Drop a subscription on my man. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, he's a funny fucker, so I promise you guys will enjoy his channel. But I mean,
You're the here.
But you know what I mean? Like that's why I wanted you to come on, because I wanted an out. Like, you have no rooting interest in this. You're not a Pats fan. You know?
Sorry, yes, no, I don't. I don't have rooting interest in this. I'm rooting against the Patriots. I am a guy who roots for greatness. So, like, if my team's out of it, right? I want the greatest player to win. And so far in my lifetime, Tom Brady has been that guy. He's been the greatest player. He's achieved the most, and he's done so much for his team. And I'm envious of that. I'm like, damn, I wish the Bears could just draft one guy that could just be with us for at least 10 years and give us some success. But we never have really been able to. So, yeah, I don't have rooting interest. Now I'm rooting against the Patriots. I want Bill Belichick to fail so bad now. And I actually can't wait till he does. I feel bad for you, though.
And like, dude, how many times have we said this too? Like, we're finally, Patriots Nation is final. This has been the age-old question, dude. This has been the question that's swirled around Pats Nation for probably, I don't know, 5 years now. Who's who's better? Who was the success?
Who's more
You know,
important?
who was more important? Is the success due to the maniacal attitude and drive that Brady has, or is it Belichick always putting Brady and putting the team and putting you know the Patriots in spots in the best spot to benefit them and to help them win game? Like, we're gonna get our answer. The next 2 years, we're gonna see our answer.
I
If
think
it's
the
Brady,
nuanced answer is definitely that without each other, neither of them would win 6 Super Bowls.
no
But
doubt.
you're right. We do need the non-nuanced answer. We need the answer that we're all waiting for, the real answer. We need the bragging rights answer.
But that's like how like we've Pat's Nation has asked that for years. Who really is behind the success? Is it a combination of both, or is it can we definitively say that, oh, it was Brady's maniacal attitude and drive to win, and he was underappreciated in the draft, and they stole him in the draft, and he really was, a good, better than anybody ever. Like, was it him, or was it Brady, or was it Belichick always putting Brady in the right spot at the right time and giving him Josh McDaniels to work with, or was it, that's the other side. Was it Bill consistently putting Brady in the best spots to win the game by making by just making the correct coaching decisions all the time? That's
It's been a 10-year conversation. After the Giants Super Bowl loss, the second one, it was every day, man, until they won against the Seahawks. It was every day for like 3 years. They're like, who's really the most important? Should it be Bill or Brady? That might have been when it started. Like, might have been when all this tension started.
yeah. No, it had like, and the Pats, like, they never really blew anybody out in their Super Bowl wins. It was they won off of the Patriots won their Super Bowls on. I mean, they blew. I mean, obviously they blew the doors off the Falcons in the second half. But like, outside of that one, it was like they've been most of their Super Bowls, JD, have been dogfights. They've just been just a battle back and forth and back and forth, and it just, thanks to, Brady making the plays when they count, and Bill, making, Bill putting, just putting the Patriots in good, in good spots by making the right, coaching decisions. So it's they've to me it's always been a choreographed effort between the two of them.
Yeah, no question. It's been a wild ride, man. It's been a wild ride. I think that Pats fans can finally look back and say, man, we had one hell of a run, better than any team ever in the history of football. No
A
one's
20
ever had a
dude,
better run.
20 years of dominance, just dominance.
It's the only thing comparable is the Chicago Bulls of the '90s, and that was only a 9-year run. That is a 20-year run.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Bulls was only like a 9 season run. This was like, imagine if the Bulls had gone 15 or 20 years of like
Being in the mix,
that's the level of dominance it would be at.
it's remarkable. It really is remarkable. And football is a lot harder to win. It just is. It's just harder.
Yeah, with the way football is set up, with the way the National Football League is set up, it's not meant for you to be perennial freaking Super Bowl team. It's not meant for you. It's the way it's set up, the way the draft is set up, the way it's just, you're just not supposed to do what the Patriots did. You're not supposed to be able to do that. You're not supposed to be able to have that much success for that long.
They're drafting 23rd to 30th every year for 20 years, and they still somehow keep winning.
Yeah. So we'll, JD, for the last like 5 or 10 minutes, we'll open it up to the chat. So if you guys got any questions for us about what we think about this whole situation, or any sports questions, we'll open it up to you guys. So feel free, man. Me and JD are we'll do the best we can to answer any questions you got, but we'll open it up to y'all. I just thought, like I said, JD, I wanted you to come on because I know like we've gone back and forth with this, and multiple between, like, we've
We've
covered a
dissected
lot.
the relationship.
Yeah, we've had to. During the Brady Watch, we had to break down all the
Like a
um
million different articles we did. We did so many different articles.
so Clemson Savage says the hey Bobby, the Yankees sign stealing. I don't Clemson Savage, I don't know, did that get confirmed? I know they had to open some letter or something like that. I haven't heard too much. The last thing I heard about that was they some letter had to be opened, or something about a letter. Um, I haven't heard too much about it.
It's easy to smash on the Astros. It's easy to just like poop all over the Astros and not care about their fans because there's not as many. But if you try to like throw shade or throw rocks at the Yankees, you're basically disrupting half of baseball's fan base. So that's probably why the media is so scared.
Well, you better hope you're right too.
You have to be right about that. My thing is this: there's 162 games, and I'm not excusing cheating. I'm not. I really, and I said this. I said this when the Astros first were like getting in trouble.
Yeah.
There's been pine tar, corked bets, steroids, sign stealing. Baseball is.
They're all cheating. They're all cheating. To some degree.
I'm not saying it's right, but know your sport. Your sport is a sport that cheats a lot. Definitely cheat.
Coach, the Major League Baseball would probably lose its mind if the Astros made the World Series again.
I mean, that would really shut up a lot of haters, though. I mean, although they'd probably accuse me of cheating again.
I hope the Astros get throw. I hope they take pitches to the ribs, all 60. I hope the first pitch of the season, the pitcher just throws a hanging curve right into the dude's ribs. Just one. Just one at the beginning of every game. Just that hanging curve right in the rib cage.
Oops, got it away from me. Sorry.
I'm serious. Just the first pitch of every game. Hanging curveball right into the rib cage.
Oops, my slider got away from me. It hit you right in the gut. Ugh.
Either the first pitch or the last one. Just a hanging curve or a slider right to the rib cage.
So what's up with can someone break down the difference between the Sox cheating, the Yankees cheating, and the Astros cheating? Because I see a lot of these fans.
But see, like, I can't say anything because the Red Sox cheated too. They got caught red-handed too. They cheated too.
I mean, I'd be surprised if more, like every single one of the playoff teams was cheating then. Or I wouldn't be surprised. Because like
the coach says, and we'll take our base and like it.
Moneyball. That's how you put the money ball right there.
Money ball, right? The money ball right in the rib cage.
Right in the rib cage. My God. Well, they are getting 100% of their salaries. They deserve it.
But I mean, so to just kind of close things out, it's awesome. Just to kind of switch gears real quick before dude, it's awesome. NBA's talking comeback. They're making plans to finalize and stuff. Baseball's got a plan. They're coming back the 24th. Training camp starts the 1st. Guys, we're getting sports back, and it's going to be fucking fantastic.
By not having a salary cap, the Yankees cheat every year. So I'll just leave it at that.
It's good, dude. It's going to be fantastic. Basketball's coming back, and I'm going to be doing, JD, I got some other stuff. I want to talk some hypothetical basketball situations with you too. So I'll
my specialty.
Yeah, hypothetical basketball trade rumors after this season. I think you're going to like. So be on the lookout for that collaboration too, because I have some stuff written down, and I've been doing some of my own. You're gonna like some of the hypothetical trades. I think they're gonna be interesting. That
Love
we're
hypothetical trades.
yeah, but I definitely I want to bring you on for that because I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
AD's going to the Bulls, man. Let's do it.
Well,
AD
now
and
that you guys
Giannis.
got rid of that duo, got rid of that stupid duo running things,
Boylan's next.
fire Garpax.
Now it's fire bowling. Fire bowling. Hashtag fire bowling. You've been bitching fire Garpack for like 8 years, man. We deserve this.
I know.
He said, just stop it, Katie. Just stop it. I won't stop it. Go to the Super Bowl and we're getting Giannis and AD. Do it.
The Bulls are going to look like the Monstars from Space Jam.
Yes. That's what we're going to do. We'll be bigger than everybody. And then we get Bull and yeah, we need a fire bowling for sure. When you get
What the
Bull
hell?
and
Why don't you make a move for Luka while you're at it too?
Luka too. Screw it. Luka too. He can be the point guard. Good deal. I love it.
But thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and being a part of the chat. That was a lot of fun. JD, I wanted to, like I said, man, I knew you'd be interested in that because it's a question that we've talked about for a while, and I was just curious to get the pulse on how Patriots fans. I have an idea, but how we feel, but it's just interesting to hear the different viewpoints because I know a lot of the fans on my channel are younger Pats fans, so that Brady's all they've ever known.
Yes.
They've never seen the Patriots without Tom. What they look like before.
For
Tom
all
Brady
you younger fans, Belichick has a losing record without Brady.
I think I believe, is it under 500 or right? I think it's only like 2 games over.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
not.
2 games under 500. I think 2
Yeah,
games
it's
or
slightly.
yeah.
I'm down for COD.
Yes, Coach. Yes, we're gonna be. Yes, that is we are gonna be Warzone. Yes, give me like 10 minutes to take a dump, and then I'm absolutely getting on Warzone. Yes.
I liked what Lady said earlier too. Lady just said fuck Tom Brady, but I liked what Lady said earlier. He goes, "Yeah, I hate Tom, or yeah, I'm mad at Tom Brady for beating my team's ass for 20 years." Me too. It was great having me. Thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate you having me on, man. You guys are the best. Thanks for all the new subscriptions. See you in COD.
Absolutely, guys. Y'all have a good night. And for me and JD, we are out of here, guys. Thanks for all the support. That was a lot of fun. And we will catch you next time. Hashtag fuck the Yankees, and we're out of here.
Fuck the Packers.
Yeah, screw them too. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. Peace.
Peace.